Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your Sagittarius May 2022 reading and predictions. I'm Nigel Saint James. For those who are stopping by for the first time, and if you are, welcome. Great to see you. Good luck. And to the subscribers, you know I always love seeing you. I'm excited with these monthly readings because so many of you send me comments and I get the chance to talk to you. Now, I don't have my usual suit and tie on today because I'm actually going to do a couple of hours of film for this month, and then I'm going out on a date. So, can't wear a suit and tie out on a date with a beautiful woman. And, women denim jackets, maybe do they still do them? I don't know. Well, we'll soon find out. Well, the bigger problem, of course, is whether they might like a denim jacket. But anyway, let's keep positive, shall we? Now, you know that I don't normally. This is a medieval deck, as I've said. Now, I don't normally use oracle cards. These are not oracle cards. A lot of oracle cards for me, they just don't meet my taste. They're too kind of childish in a way. And look, I'm not saying if you like oracle cards, that's good. People respond to different things. I just don't respond well to oracle cards. These are, in a sense, in the nature of an oracle card, the Aboriginal artwork, Australian Aboriginal artwork. Now, the Australian Aboriginals have the same ethnic grouping for about 40,000 years that they occupied the continent of Australia, which is bounded by ocean all around it. It's an island. Australia, as you know, it's a continent, but it's also an island. It's the world's largest island. And what you find is that with 40,000 years of people hanging around and often talking to people and having connections with each other across the whole of the continent, there is, in a sense, a shared spirituality, and it's often seen in the way of the artwork. So we'll see what there is in here. And there is inner harmony. Now, we're going to take 5 medieval tarot cards for you now. 5, of course, is the number of change. And it's, for me, mystically associated with the planet of Mars. And so it's fire. It's intent. It can sometimes be aggressive. And that's you, isn't it? Fire, intent. Definitely the case. You're going to love the artwork on it. We're going to look at them together. There's the Judgment card up the front. What's this one here? There's the 2 of Cups. Someone's going to be falling in love, I think. We shall see. And certainly it's a good time for things to do with love. There's the Fool. At last, the Fool makes an appearance. It seems I've been doing these for months and months and months, and the Fool never... Well, there is one fool in the room, but But here's the second one, so that's good. And let's have a look here. See what there is, shall we? A lot of astrology I'll probably use in this. Numerology, perhaps. We shall see what comes through there. There's a Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords, yeah. That's going to be an interesting person, I think, to do with you. Come on now, sit down here next to me. We'll have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Okay, let's deal first with this oracle type card, I suppose you'd call it. And it is entitled Inner Harmony. Well, your inner harmony can only flow when you are true to yourself and walk your own path. Inner harmony is made up of so many emotions. However, take all of this away and you are left with you. Inner harmony is a place of quiet stillness where you know and love yourself for who you are. It is a place of great respect for the journey you are on and of the experience that is gifted to you. It is the recognition of your spirit within yourself that gives you your ultimate connection to self. Sometimes we can be afraid of things, and particularly starting new things. But when you continually protect your heart from being hurt. You will never experience the full emotion love can bring you. By being emotionally unavailable, you rob yourself of the most wonderful feelings the human soul can experience. Be brave and take your blindfold off. Drop your defenses and really see the people around you. There are people who want to love and care for you, but sometimes we don't let them get too close, do we, for fear of being hurt. Experience an inner harmony that can be enhanced by others who love and care for you. There are wonderful experiences to be had when you share your love with other people. Well, I think that's all I want to say about that. Now let's look at this next. Actually, these two are connected, I think, in a profound way. I'll deal with the Fool next. Let me deal with this because you drew it first. And it is the card of Judgment. What's happening here? Angels blow trumpets of gold, calling sounds and souls to resurrection. The last judgment is coming. Now, this severity of sin leads to the bottom of the river of fire. However, those who rise above the surface, well, they have a chance of salvation, rebirth, and liberation. Risen souls do not yet know their future fate and their final sentence. They have yet to account for all the things they have done in their life in this image. For now, they can only hope for the best and for the highest grace. Yes, the spirit of primal fire. Now, I think that what's happening here is that there is a period which you will be highly discriminating or discerning. It's a time of closure, of resolution, and also, I have to say, for definitive action to be taken by you. Do you know there's going to be a decision which has a major impact on your life, such as a lifestyle or a career, maybe things to do around the home, the way you set up your home environment. It's a time to move on after seeing the bigger picture. Maybe it's useful to take time out to see the bigger picture, but certainly it's a natural period of growth and shedding things and people which no longer serve you. I think you are being challenged now to drop your worm's eye view, to see things from a higher plane. Now, when you have recognized the greater time spans and other contexts, which you are increasingly ready to do, I have to say, you will then tend to move more and more to observe things in their beingness, to see free from evaluations. Now, which methods will you use to gain deeper insight and greater wisdom? Say this to yourself. I observe people and situations objectively and fairly. I value the combination of my qualities and characteristics. I honor the unlimited well of creativity within me to express in family and work settings. God is the unknown, the mysterious. The more I know that I don't know, the closer I am to the divine. Now, there is this card, as I say, this is talking about major decision. This one is talking about major decisions being made in your life, isn't it? And time for closure and moving on. Sometimes moving on, or it can depend on subconscious thoughts and programming that we have. But let's have a look here at this image here. Well, there is a carefree young man, and he's sort of a drifter, unaware of his true path and his capabilities at the moment. The Fool is, in a sense, spirit come into matter before any material experience. Now, he doesn't imagine what waits for him in the future, but his intuition suggests that he will certainly be fortunate in his affairs and feeling free and independent. He is driven by faith in something new and beautiful. Now, there's a dog running nearby, And that is, that possesses that sort of animal flair which we see in the world, and it is ready to warn this traveller about any dangers that might be coming up along his journey. The young man is, because he's so fresh, he's inexperienced, naive, and sort of childishly clumsy, I think, but he is pure in the soul, just like the butterfly which is hovering near his head. Now, this speaks definitely to me, for you, of a time for openness, a time to trust, a time when you must be ready to take a risk and courage to stand your ground. Freedom, independence, creativity. There's great potential within you, and there's the possibility of taking a quantum leap. This is one time when you must listen to the heart's voice. And you should be in the present. Yes, certainly a time when I think new things are going to arise. Sometimes, as I say, we can not have faith in ourselves, or our self-esteem doesn't allow us to grasp opportunity which presents. This card here, incidentally, is talking about opportunity that is coming up, but there is only a very short window for you to take advantage of it. Now, sometimes, you see, you just have to believe in yourself. Now, there's a good chance that all you have ever been told or made to feel in your life so far is that you can't do anything. That every time you even dared to dream that your life could be better, you were shot down or laughed at, made to feel small, made to feel useless, made to feel like an idiot for even thinking you could be more. All of us, just as we thought something was within reach, have had a massive shadow of doubt thrown on us, and normally by somebody close to us. And it hurts. And you've then thought of the pain to get what you want, and your brain avoids it. But what is being told you now is that there is nothing you cannot be, there is nothing you cannot do, there is nothing you cannot have. You are the most magnificent, the most remarkable, the most splendid being God has ever created, for who could reject such wondrous magnificence? But you do not know who you are, and you think you are a great deal less. You are your own rule maker, and you are the only one who can assess how you are doing. All you see in the world is your idea about it. Life will take off for you when you choose for it to. An idea becomes a thought becomes a word. Say it out loud, words have power, and they reverberate all throughout eternity. And a word becomes an action. And if you're going to do it, start, and then go all the way. Seize the opportunity which is in front of you now. Rejoice in it, and let no power on earth take it from you. Well, where are we going to go next? Thank you for that, Fool. That's a good message for my friend here. Now, let me have a look at this, because you're on the same horizontal. So you've probably got something to say. Court cards, of course, can be of either gender, but I'll refer to it as a man for the obvious reason. Now, the horseman here looks to be a strong personality, a warrior. This crazy but glorious young man is wild, unceremonious, impulsive, reckless, and in some senses, in a good way, kind of unbalanced. And he's sharp-witted, but his mind lacks the depth and the breadth that characterizes, say, the King of Swords. There's a lot of things going on in his mind. The prince of the chariots of the winds. He is this guy here. Now, I think Aquarius is going to be important to you, as is Capricorn. Now, this is a young man who is intellectual, full of ideas and plans, very clever, but sometimes that cleverness can lead to instability, somebody who can be domineering at time, or elusive, and somebody who can be very trusting and impressionable. He is the airy aspect of air, and there's a great degree of intuition here and creative thinking, as well as you, I think, cutting through entanglements and becoming free of limited ideas and models. You'll have a sort of a clear perception. There's lots of air here, lots of activity, but the challenge is to make sure that there are some plans which go with it, because I think he can go in any direction, but the direction that he goes in is accidental. It's not as if it's controlled. He's, in a sense, intellectually, in his ideas, out of control. What he creates, he destroys and then produces something which he thinks is better. So he jumps from idea to idea to idea. But when the creative process works, it works really well. But the challenge is to make sure that it is grounded in something practical, something that can become fruitful. This is a time when I think that you will have a highly developed intellect. You will love thinking, questioning, and philosophizing. You'll be good at coming up with ideas quickly, but the danger is that you might move on to another one without developing the previous one. And your intellect could be draining to those who can't keep up with you during this period. You will be independent. Some people might think that you are overly private and difficult to get to know, or even, I don't think it's the case with you, but sometimes with this energy here, people might think that there is a lack of empathy in you. This can indicate, I think, the need to slow down and analyze your thoughts to see if something practical can be gained from them. So free yourself from whatever limits your mind and spirit, but be sure you express your ideas and plans in ways that other people will understand. Accept their opinions humbly. Your thinking may be way ahead of its time, but you can adjust to make your vision workable in the present without sacrificing anything. Now ask yourself this: what beliefs, feelings, relationships, or programmed ideas do you allow to limit yourself? Say this to yourself: I am a valuable and creative person. My creative possibilities have no limits, but they needed to be grounded in practical matters. But having heeded that warning from this Knight of Swords, I think that you do, in fact, actually move along really well and do get your ideas grounded, and it's a very productive and joyful time for you, and also a time that's going to be filled with love, but I'll get to that in just a second. Now, in this picture here, what's going on? The lake's waters are rather stormy, yet the faces of the travelers remain calm. They know that upon overcoming this difficult stretch of the path, the risks and struggle that they face will decrease. Now, astrologically, I'm looking at it here, this is Mercury ruling the second Deccan of Aquarius, at 30th of January to the 9th of February. Now, here, the air planet of Mercury finds itself in the fixed sign of air, which is Aquarius. Many people think Aquarius is a water sign because of its name, but actually it's an air sign. So Mercury in Aquarius, well, do you know what? Mercury happens to be exalted in Aquarius in astrology. Mercury is a very intellectual planet, and in Aquarius, which is an intellectual sign, this highlights the intellectual qualities of this card. Now, Aquarius is an air sign which is detached and intellectual by nature, and Mercury's ability to analyze brings a clear perspective going forward. And so the astrology suggests a somewhat detached but balanced assessment of a situation is needed. You need to analyze something without bias and without too much emotion to get the best result. Do you know Aquarius is also the sign of innovation and originality, and so this can also represent you communicating your new ideas, even unconventional ones, in a very orderly way. You'll have great mental clarity. You will, having gone through that process, made sure that you take your ideas and make them practical, and you'll be using your intellect and logic. Could also be a relocation for some people, but for you now, there's a period of calmness going ahead. Mercury is one of the greatest gifts for Aquarius. Mercury's ability to analyze brings clarity to perspectives on the future. The perceptions are not only seen and recognized, but can also be effectively communicated now. The most varied ideas from this card and varied visions meet now at one central point, and this allows for a new, all-encompassing vision of things which brings the flower of realization into bloom. Now, I just also have the feeling here that there could be a situation that you haven't actually been able to come to grips with, but now it's getting better. You're now thinking out a better approach in dealing with the situation. Do you know you possess the ability to perceive on different levels and from different perspectives? Your understanding of things unites many different aspects. Ask yourself, where are and what are the ruts in your life? Trust your insight. Communicate in a way others will understand. Allow the flower to unfold, and say this to yourself: the flower of recognition blossoms in my heart. Now that takes us finally to... It is finally, isn't it? Yep. Takes us finally to this Two of Cups. A lovely picture that's there. Well, two young people show interest in each other. Their attraction is based on sympathy and compassion, and also has with it an intention behind the actions that they have. Now, in the picture, I suppose, one might say that one can think about a heart unity, a courtship, a union, an attraction, a passion, a partnership. This image mainly portrays a deep, personal, intimate sphere, sympathy, flirting perhaps, a date after a long separation, and the beginning of a new friendship or love relationships. Now, there's a very fortunate astrological influence coming in on this, and it's because it is Venus in the first decan of Cancer, that 21st of June to the 1st of July. These two things, Venus and Cancer, exemplify the benefit of you having drawn this card, because Venus is the most receptive of planets and is the planet of love, relationship, beauty, creativity. And Cancer, well, Cancer is about nurturing, comfort, supporting, and healing. So there's receptive love here, happy relationships, emotional exchange. There's close bonds, togetherness, love, harmony. But it doesn't necessarily just have to be romantic. It can also be friendship. It can, for those involved in sales, be with an ability to make sales happen, a good relationship with customers. Certainly there is a mutual respect associated with this card here. Do you know your readiness to receive love makes you attractive? Surrender to yourself, to others, to life. Yes, Venus in Cancer. Well, I note that in Cancer, Jupiter is exalted, and Jupiter is the great benefic of the zodiac and brings love, good fortune, and good luck to you. So, with which persons and in which surroundings can you now share your love? Pay attention to the love and the type of love coming to you now. Remain open and let it enter into you and go deep inside. There is nothing to do but enjoy what life offers. And say to yourself, I am now ready to let into my life the type of relationships which are going to enrich and fulfill me. Well, what a fantastic set of cards for you. Well done, you. That's the way it is for you this month. Well, I think that was fantastic, that energy for you. Looks like it's going to be a really good month for you, and what a lot of interesting things going on, and what an interesting set of cards, don't you think? Tell me what you think of these medieval cards, as to whether there's some. I don't really use them very often, but I must say they do speak to me, and you might also let me know whether you enjoy the this sort of Aboriginal artwork stuff that's in here. There's all sorts of different things. Very, very interesting. Great to see you. Great to see you. Thank you for sticking by for the reading. If you do happen to like it, can you please help me by smashing the like button on the way out? That will enable more people to see the video according to the YouTube gods. But in the meantime, remember this, and remember it always, that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.